This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather. Hello there. It's Jeff Cutastrophe. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, June the 20th, 1993, one of the best NBA finals of all time happened, and with a gigantic aftermath that people didn't see coming. So it's the NBA finals between the Chicago Bulls and the Phoenix Suns. Both teams were trying to do their jobs and win the title. Anyway, the Chicago Bulls had won back-to-back titles in 91 and 92. 91 taking care of the Showtime Lakers, and in 92 taking care of Portland. So the Bulls were looking pretty good with Pippen and Jordan and Grant. They were looking pretty impressive for themselves. No team had three-peated since the Celtics did so, and that was when they won 8 straight from 59 to 66. MJ and Pippen played for the Dream Team at the Barcelona Olympics. And even though the Olympics kind of slowed them down, they put up 57 wins. Good enough for second in the East. Chicago began its push for a three-peat, sweeping the Hawks and Cavs aside. They would have to take on the New York Knicks in the conference finals. They were down 2-0 before winning the next two in Chicago. So they went back to New York, and everyone thought the Knicks were going to win Game 5 on home turf. But Charles Smith, having a good few shots, kept getting blocked by Pippen and by Jordan, and basically it was over. The Bulls won Game 6 and took care of the Knicks. The Suns were huge. Kevin Johnson was around and helped the Suns get to the Western Final in both 91 and 92, losing to the Lakers and Blazers in the process. And of course, those teams would lose to the Bulls. In the 92 offseason, the Suns made a massive trade, picking up Charles Barkley from Philadelphia for Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, and Andrew Lang. Paul Westphal was made head coach, and he was known for his quick-paced offense and all that. They picked up new uniforms, the new logo with the basketball coming from the Sunburst, and moved to the Arizona Memorial Coliseum to the America West Arena. The Suns would put up 62 wins. Barkley would be named MVP, and actually were in trouble against the LA Lakers in the Western playoffs. It was the best of 5, remember, in the first round, and the Suns were down 2-0 to the powerful Lakers, who were in shells of themselves. But Paul Westphal at the press conference said, "Are we dead? No. We're going to win Game 3 on Sunday, then we're going to win on Wednesday, then we're going to come back on Sunday and win it again." And they did. They took care of the Spurs in 6, and Seattle put them to a Game 7, which threatened to have the Suns lose the Western Final for the 3rd straight year, but they won. For the Suns, it was their first NBA Finals appearance since 1976. And second overall. Now, the Suns went to the finals in 76. That was the crazy finals that saw that crazy Game 4 in which Gar Hurd scored an unbelievable shot to force it into a third overtime, which Boston won. So, yeah. The Bulls and Suns both played each other. They played each other twice, but the home team didn't win either of them. For Chicago, they had B.J. Armstrong, Bill Cartwright, Horace Grant, Michael Jordan, Stacey King, Marty McRae, not the baseball player guy, Ed Neely, John Paxson, Will Perdue, Scott B. Pippen, Trent Tucker, who was known for that one shot for the Knicks, and Horace Grant, future Magic and Laker. Bill Cartwright, not from Canada, that's what people thought, but it was Bill Winnington, who wasn't with the team. Darrell Walker, Sue Woo from Arkansas, Corey Williams, and Scott Williams. Phoenix had Kevin Thompson, Frank Johnson, which was Richard Dumas, Tom Chambers, Cedric Ceballos, Charles Barkley, Danny Ainge, Tim Kempton, Nagel Knight, Dan Marley, Oliver Miller, Suey, Gerald Mustaf, and Mark West. Game 1 in Phoenix saw the Bulls win 192. So anyway, Phoenix tried to put gamemanship with the Bulls by making an introduction animation in the vein of the Bulls' well-known intro animation set to Sirius. By the Alan Parsons Band. Also, before the game, a moment of silence was observed as New Jersey Nets guard Drazen Petrovic was killed in a car accident 2 days before the start of the finals in Germany. The Bulls led from start to finish. MJ put up 31 points. Scott Williams led in rebounds with 10. Barkley with 21 points for the Suns. In game 2, the Bulls would win again, narrowly though, 111-108. Kevin Johnson would foul out for the Suns with 6 fouls. Barkley suffered an elbow injury. Danny Ainge had a three-point attempt to try to tie the game, but it was blocked by Pippen. And Phoenix was the first team to lose their home court advantage twice in the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. So practically the Suns were down 0-2 on home turf, which was unusual for that to happen. Orlando would do this 2 years later. Of course, that was when they were swept. Game 3 saw the Suns and Bulls play a triple overtime magical game. But shockingly, the Bulls didn't win this game. They lost in overtime. Horace Grant forced the first overtime. Tom Chambers hit a good layup to force the second overtime. Dan Marley, with 3 seconds left, hit a big shot to force triple overtime. And the Suns won the game in triple overtime. It was just amazing what they could do. So Paul Westphal was actually a member of the Suns in '76 when they went to triple overtime against Boston in that famous game. Game 5. I said game 4. Sorry, that was game 5. So anyway, the Suns were the first team to hit 2 triple overtime finals games. Westphal actually made a move that paid off. Kevin Johnson was told to guard Michael Jordan and played much better. MJ put up 44 points in the win. Dan Marley led the Suns with 28. Richard Dumas had 17 points. Tom Chambers with 12, the old veteran, doing his job. MJ was unstoppable and practically wanted to destroy Phoenix for forcing triple overtime. So, anyway, the Bulls won 111-105. MJ putting up 55 points in that game, which was unbelievable. Barkley had 32 for the Suns. In game 5, the Suns would not allow Chicago to win on home turf and all that. Anyway, the Suns won 108-98, and Chicago's victory celebration was squashed. All that. Kevin Johnson and Richard Dumas put up 25 points each to lead the Suns. MJ 41 for the Bulls. So game 6 happened on a Sunday night. It was a tight one. The fourth quarter was supposed to be the Bulls, but they struggled. MJ cut the deficit to 2, and then Marley missed it. They were down 98-96, so they needed to make a shot to prevent a Game 7 from happening. Chicago ran a play that Phil Jackson called the blind pink pig that had them increasing the play's thrust with bringing the ball from 3/4 of the back of the basket. Although Westfall said that no players were to double team any of the Bulls. Danny Ainge was supposed to guard John Paxson, but he didn't. He wanted to go after Horace Grant and foul him so that he would have to go to the free throw line and all that. However, Grant saw Paxson alone by himself, and then Paxson, after taking a breath, stepped back and hit a three-pointer, and the Bulls were up 99-98. Of the 12 points the Bulls would score in the fourth quarter, that was the only basket by someone not named Jordan. And a shocking move, but yeah, Paxson's three-pointer when it was wide open. Kevin Johnson tried to make the winning shot, but was blocked by Horace Grant. Game, set, match. The Bulls won 99-98, and John Paxson is a freaking hero. So anyway, MJ won 3 straight NBA Finals MVPs. Well, who would you have given it to? He put up 41 points per game in the 6-game series, which is an NBA record, shockingly. And the only other time that someone was named Finals MVP 3 times was Magic Johnson. Of course, this award started way back in 1969. So yeah, Paxson was a hero. Well, NBC, did this thing with Marv Alberts and Mike Fratello doing this stuff there. Magic was also a color commentator for NBC, but couldn't come to Game 6 because of his brother's wedding. So he left NBC and returned to Lakers for various roles, including coming back to play for them in 1996. Well, Mike Fratello was named head coach of the Cavs. Matt Gukas, who was fired from Orlando, would be taking over the color commentator job. All that. Anyway, it was just amazing and all that. So, anyhow, there would be a massive aftermath. Phoenix would put up 56 wins in 94, which was pretty good, but lost to Houston after being up 2-0 in the conference semifinals. And then in 95, Phoenix was up 3-1 on Houston in the first round. It looked good for Phoenix, but lost on a massive three-pointer by Mario Elie, of all people, in Game 7. It didn't help matters that the Suns, when they lost to the Rockets, lost to the eventual NBA champions and all that. Barkley was then traded to Houston so that he could get a ring in 96. They picked up Sam Cassell, Robert Horry, and Chucky Brown from Houston. But Cassell and Horry would not help out with the Suns. Unfortunately, Barkley could not get to an NBA final, and the 93 final was the only time he would do so. It would be the last time the Suns would make the final till 2021 when they lost in 6 to the Bucks. In 93, the NBA Finals was the only time Chicago had beaten a Arizona team in a playoff series. The Diamondbacks swept the Cubs in the 2007 NLDS in baseball. And in hockey, the Coyotes shocked everyone by beating the Blackhawks in 6 in 2012 because the Coyotes had never won a playoff series while being in the Phoenix area beforehand. And Chicago won the title 2 years ago, prior. That's a bad aftermath, but it's nothing compared to the Bulls and all that. Horace Grant would soon leave for Orlando. The bench players would be replaced and all that. Tony Kukoc would emerge, kind of a replacement for Trent Tucker. But it was just off the court that the problem happened. A month after the Bulls won the title, James Jordan was murdered on the side of the road while sleeping in his car because he was trying to get to a friend's wedding. Two youths mindlessly killed James Jordan and took his car, although they probably did not know who he was. Distraught by the murder of his father, MJ announced his retirement from basketball just before the NBA season was about to begin in '94, citing a loss of desire to play basketball. MJ would go play minor league baseball and show flashes of brilliance, but he was just taking up someone's spot. Chicago did win 55 games despite MJ leaving the team because Scottie Pippen had to step up in MJ's absence. The Bulls would lose the conference semifinals to the Knicks in Game 7. And then MJ returned from retirement in March of '95. They lost to the Magic in 6 games in the playoffs, but MJ did get a three-peat to end his Bulls career. And a lot of people said that, MJ was booted for his gambling things. I doubt that highly. It was because his dad had died and, he lost the desire. And baseball was something that he and his father could be close with. So why not? And, MJ came back to basketball in the first place, so I blame him. Anyhow, I'm I'm going to do.